Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I want to talk about the LA Clippers because it's been reported that they're shopping Luke Kennard in hopes of trying to create cap space for a superstar of some sort. And I think it makes a whole lot of sense. I like what they're doing there. Well, superstar, maybe not, but moving Luke Kennard's contract to get better, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. The Los Angeles Clippers got a lot of trade pieces that I didn't take into account when I made a video a couple of days ago talking about them. Um, Amir Coffey, Terrence Mann, Harsh Hartenstein, Reggie Jackson. They got some pieces that I think could be, you know, players for a team that wants to get better. Um, Luke Kennard is obviously a guy at the top of that list. From what I understand, his shooting percentages last year were tops from behind the arc. So, you definitely see him ascending into a really, really top shooter. I really like how he runs off of screens and darts all over the place. Saw some footage of him that I was able to really, really key in on, where he was and playing a road game in Washington and was really darting off a screen and just putting himself in positions to catch and shoot. Anybody that needs a catch and shoot guy going forward, he's going to be one of the better ones, I think. So I'd love to pick him up if I'm building my team. Uh, so his contract, I believe, is $10 million a year or something like that. I think he got paid a little more than what you would want him to get paid at this point, but nevertheless, where he's about to be probably will round that out to make sense. I think if he makes a nice enough jump. So, yeah, I don't know who's a suitor for him at this point, but from what I understand, they're hopeful that they can do something tonight. So we'll keep an eye open for that. I think what's also noteworthy is that they're interested in getting Kyrie Irving. And of course, the Lakers are interested in getting Kyrie Irving. The Knicks are interested in Kyrie as well. I just look at the Clippers and I say, okay, first of all, if Kyrie goes there, they may be one of the favorites. Let's just keep it all the way honest. They're up there with the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies immediately if you add that type of talent to your team. I think, though, the only thing that my objection would be, I think they need facilitating. And I look at Kyrie Irving as a player who's looking to score the ball. One of the reasons why his fit with Braun works so well is because Braun's looking to get him the ball. And Kai doesn't really have to be the facilitator. He doesn't have to take on the duties of making sure other people are fed. That's not his biggest strength. That's not what you want him doing. Um, and that's exactly what his responsibilities will be if they don't find someone else who could do that while he's on the floor. So I don't like what you're setting them up to be. I don't think the Clippers are really looking at this properly as it pertains to how they should be building. You need to find somebody who can do a combination of those two things, both scoring and facilitating naturally. So in my mind, they should be, since DeJounte Murray is on the block, that's who they should be looking at. Because he more so fits what it is that I think they could use. Now, granted, DeJounte doesn't shoot like that. He's not a shooter. He's not going to do that. But he can finish. He's young, defensive minded. I think that's a better fit. If you're going to take on a star, you want that player to be two-way if you're the Clippers. Um, in my opinion, you want them to have that facilitating gift as a strength, not just something that they have to work into their equation consciously that deviates from what it is who they actually are, which is what Kyrie's going to have to do. Kyrie can get assists within the confines of what it is that he does. But when you ask him to facilitate, that's like, whoa, why are you asking me to do something that's not my functionality? I'm a finisher. I'm a dribbler. I'm gonna get to my spots. I'm gonna carve you up. I will get my assists, but God, if it's incumbent upon me to make sure guys are fed, that's that's you're not getting the Kyrie experience. So I don't think the Clippers are done building. Of course, I'm sure they'll have to do some things, but my thing with the Clippers is I've seen them leave themselves with holes in every era that they've been trying to build properly. Because when I was a kid, they weren't trying to build properly. They were just, it was the Sterling era, forgotten disgrace. But now, since the Ballmer era has been in place, he's been putting the money forth. He's been trying to build a team. But the teams that he builds always has a significant hole that keeps them from being who they need to be. Every single time. And I've mentioned this every time I mention the Clippers. The small forward position when it was Blake Griffin's era and Chris Paul's era. For God's sakes, they were running no legitimate small forwards at any given point. They always had somebody, respectfully, who just couldn't play that position damn near 90% of the time during that era. That's why they couldn't get off the ground. Now, with the Kawhi and PG era, they don't ever have facilitators. They always ask shooting point guards to run their position. I don't understand that. I don't get it. I just really irks the hell out of me that they just will put a team on the floor and nobody looks to pass at all. And they just try to work it out within their system to do so. Each and every year they give themselves this problem. And I'm just like, no, you're still doing it. You're still doing it. You're asking Kyrie Irving, a scorer, to come in, and you still don't have anybody that's going to get him the ball, get PG the ball, get Kawhi the ball. Stop doing this, Clippers. It's why you keep losing despite spending so much money on these teams. If you really want to win, stop leaving yourself holes. You need all the elements of basketball. So in this case, I think the Clippers need to be looking at, just like most teams need to be looking at, DeAndre Ayton. If you're going to give your max money to anybody, it should be a big who can run the floor, guard the perimeter in some ways, be durable, stay on the floor at all times since you have injury-prone players that you're building around. That's the way to go. You want your max. If you're going to build with 3 max players, teams, for God's sakes, make sure the guys that you're building with are durable. Because if you put 3 max players together and they're injury-prone players, you understand that they're not going to be there. And that the players you're using aren't going to be that good because of the way that you've built. So for me, the Clippers obviously have players that are in place with these issues. That third guy should not have the issues. Unfortunately, Kai does. So that is already setting yourself up for failure. Just based on the availability issues. And I think the Lakers have the same problem. But I think they have a different way of looking at it. For whatever set of reasons, which don't even matter. The point is, for the Clippers, y'all need to continue to build depth, man. And look, I guess I get what you're doing because you are a win now team. You're not going to trade away Kawhi or PG despite having those injury issues. So bringing someone to them is a logical thing, making them the best team they could possibly be. Because if you bring a deep team around them, you just bring them depth. Here's the problem with that. It's the same problem I said I had with AD and LeBron at the beginning of last season, which is why I was on board with bringing in Westbrook. It's because they are going to need somebody who's going to be able to do the things they do while they're hurt, keep the team above water. If it's only one star and a deep team for that Clipper team, they're not going to be good enough to get to the West. They need 2 superstars on the floor at all times, in my opinion. That's the problem. And they know for a fact that that's never going to be the case. Because Kawhi's going to miss time or PG's going to miss time. It's going to be one or the other. It's just how it works. And since they refuse to trade either one of them, they have to make sure that third star is durable. But most importantly, they got to make sure that third player is a star. So that's why they want Kyrie Irving, because they know he can do heavy lifting. If for some reason Paul George or Kawhi Leonard ain't out there, he can carve any defense up in the world. He can be a one-man man, et cetera, et cetera. No. Clippers, no. I'm sorry. That's not going to do it. You will be a good team. The media will tell you you're going to win the championship. But your center position, if you don't improve that dramatically, you're going to leave Kawhi, PG, and Paul George out there to just take punishment that they don't need to be taking. That's what I see there. If you leave them nothing but Zubac and Hartenstein, that ain't going to cut it. That is not going to cut it. Even with Kai and PG and Paul George and whoever else you're able to retain without giving up too much, hopefully, for yourselves. I would try to keep one of those kids man or coffee, you know what I mean? Keep one of them. I don't know. I think the Clippers are taking a risk. And I don't know. In the past, it's been motivated by the wrong reasons. Remember the Chris Paul thing. Are they trying to do that again to the Lakers? It's ill-advised. It's very ill-advised. Because unlike the Chris Paul situation, this is not the greatest fit for you. And Kyrie does want a maximum contract, 5 years. And he don't love y'all. You know what I'm saying? He don't, like, Clippers. Let me say this. If he's calling LeBron James, say he want to play for the Lakers, and y'all intercept and bring him to the Clippers, I don't know how he's going to feel about that, but I will tell you it's not what he's signing up for necessarily. He's not flirting with y'all. He's flirting with us, respectfully. So I know he was on y'all on his list, but again, if he's calling LeBron, and if our GM Rob Pelinka and Sean Marks are meeting behind the scenes. And they trying to get this thing going, and the media's stirring it up. And you swoop in, Chris Paul style, and take him from the Lakers again? I'm telling you, you saw how it played out the first time. It doesn't work out when you do this. I'm just telling you, Clippers, it doesn't work out. We saw you do this with Kawhi Leonard. Y'all tried that little funny stuff. You know how that played out? We won the championship when you did that. When y'all had Kawhi Leonard pretend like he was mulling over the idea of coming to the Lakers so that we could not get enough role players to make us good enough to win, we won. Y'all tried that slick ass stuff and it backfired. Y'all covered up our banners. Y'all put balloons on Magic Johnson's statue. Done a lot of stuff to undermine us out of sheer spite and jealousy. I hear Jerry West coming out talking crap about the Lakers sitting from behind y'all desk. The bad karma is piling up. Now, I'm not saying the Lakers have been the greatest. I can point out stuff that we've done that I can totally see why we have enemies. But I'm just saying, y'all are doing this a lot. It's a pattern, and it never works out for you. And you need to know that. You need someone to say this to you, Clippers. That petty stuff, look at the track record. Always works out in our favor every single time. Even when you got Chris Paul, left Kobe with nothing. We still got 2 championship rings after that. You got nothing. Stop undermining us. It's bad for you. Some of us are good people. Pray to God. He don't like that kind of stuff. Just being real with you. Stop it. So, with that being said, I wish everybody good luck, man. At the end of the day, I want to see all of these teams and these players get into positions to have their books in order and to have success because I love the league. But when I see stuff like this, the little petty stuff, I'll tell you just like I tell 2 little kids. All you're going to do is make yourself look bad. That's all you're going to do. So, stop the pettiness, Clippers, Lakers. Stop that. That's what I got to say about the situation. If they're motivated by the right reasons and are trying to bring Kyrie Irving to their team to win a championship, then by all means, do what you have to do to improve your squad. But if you're doing this for the wrong reasons, rethink it. That is my suggestion to you. So, that's what I got, man. That is exactly what I have. My name is BDF44. I'm still waiting on news. Still waiting on the draft. Very, very good day thus far. Hope you all are having the same. Peace out.